This is Vinny Venom, and this is Getting into the Business, the music business, that is episode 2. I did the new episode. You could also check it out on my YouTube channel, and I explain a lot more of what I've been doing, what I've done, and what I continue to do. This is a channel for artists, producers, anyone in the music that needs to know certain things that I've been doing. And if they relate to you in some way or another, giving people an understanding because, um, like I said, I'm Vinny Venom, music producer, remixer, songwriter, rapper, uh, label owner, also apparel owner for BeatCutterz Music, and also now for my pussy cat. A lot of people ask me because they ask me a lot of questions every day. Hit me up on either Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. Like I always said in my prior first episode, quality, consistency, and quantity. If you do those three things, people are going to come knocking on your door. So going into something and not knowing everything or knowing enough to get things situated the right way. And I believe I needed to start this because a lot of artists, either be rappers, singers, they don't know the first step or they're confused. Listen, not everyone's perfect. Not everyone's going to get things right away. There's going to be mistakes and things that are going to occur before you get the swing of everything and everything comes normal to you. Through mistakes, we find achievements. So I was talking to these producers and I started noticing they didn't know a lot of things. Okay. Now, royalties is some people get into music as I did. I love music. I was born loving music and I wanted to get more involved and entwined in it. So, as a rapper, and then I started going into studios and I started seeing producers, the aspect of producing music, making something from nothing into something. And then my raps or someone singing over those creations that that person just put together out of midair. It was amazing. So as a producer, I wanted to get in. I mean, as a songwriter, I wanted to get into the composer part of it. So I started relating to these producers and say, "Hey, I want to work. I want to start learning things. I want to put things together. If I don't know how to do these things, I will explain things to how I would want them. Could you do them for me?" And they're like, "Sure, no problem." That's what an engineer is. At the end of the day, we all are not born knowing everything. We learn as we go. We don't know how to talk. It takes time. It takes months. It takes many months. It takes the same thing for us to walk. We have to crawl first before, and we fall a lot before we start actually getting up. And that first moment when we start walking, our parents, our moms are so happy and enthused that we finally made that step. Now we could stand for ourselves, we could hold ourselves, we could be up on our own feet. Same thing relates to music and knowing the ASCAP of the music and the business. Because a lot of people get into something and then at the end of the day, they're wondering why things are not happening. So I was talking to these producers, and that's why I'm actually doing this episode 2 right now. Um, and this is what this is episode 2, getting into the business, the music business, that is. So they didn't understand the administrating part of it. Okay. When you get paid as you put stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Dazzler, Shazam, all these networks, Title. And if you have your music put in a movie, a TV commercial, radio play, you get royalties, you get potentials. All these things matter. But before you get any of those things, there's companies that you have to register to make that happen. So it's like starting a bank account, right? But you have a bank account, but you haven't set it up and you're expecting money to go into that bank account when nothing's not registered or nothing's going on in that bank account because you haven't done the first step. The most important step is registering, putting your password, putting in your email address, getting everything situated so everything could transfer or into that account, right? A business account, a personal account, whatever account you have. So a lot of these producers don't know anything about BMI or ASCAP or whatever country you live in. Look into it. Contact these people if you're not 100% sure. Contact BMI, contact ASCAP and say, "Hey, I'm an upcoming producer. I don't know anything about the business aspect. What's the first step I do?" Now, as a producer and as a songwriter, okay? As a producer, you're a composer and as an author, it's composer and author. If you do both, you're a composer and author. If you just do the music, you're a composer, but you have to know these anomalies that you are associated with, okay? And you have to be credited to those things to get revenue from them, okay? So if you sign to BMI or ASCAP, I'm not asking you to sign to either one of them. You decide for yourself what works for me. I signed to BMI. I looked into things. I thought BMI related more to me. A lot of people were saying that BMI concentrates more on independent artists than the other ones. So that's what I focused on. So look in and do your own homework. Find out what you think relates to you the best. So you have to sign into these things. And I believe BMI is 200%. So if I do everything, it's 100% for songwriting and publishing, equaling out to 100%. If there's another person involved, it's 50-50 for each of each other, each other. So you have to figure out, I don't know what ASCAP is. I don't know what the other ones is. Contact them by email, call them on the phone. I would actually talk to them on the phone, get a understanding with one person, relate to one person, get that person's name, their email, so you could correspond with that person when you're having a problem, and they'll get you through it. Say, hey, listen, I'm working with these other artists, or I'm working with these producers. There's two of us that are composing. We're the producers, and there's two songwriters. I don't know the percentage on how your administration, fluctuates the amount. Could you please help me exactly tell me how much I have to give them for each of us so I get everything right and no one is getting anything less? And they'll do that for you. Don't be afraid to go out there and speak your mind. Not everyone in this world is perfect, right? There's only certain people that I'm not going to get biblical with you or whatnot. We know, but through life, we make mistakes. That's how we learn. If you look at dictionary in the definition of life, it's experience. We have to experience things to realize that things have to happen. We have to go through mistakes to learn those mistakes so we can get by and we don't go through those mistakes anymore. Some people just don't get it and they continue following those mistakes over and over and over again. And they're just like a revolving door. They don't learn from their own mistakes, but that's them. Just worry about yourself. So understand that you have to register to BMI. As a songwriter, it's for free. I don't know what it is right now. I had to pay a fee. Once you pay as a publishing with BMI, it's for life. You don't have to worry about it anymore. But as a writer, you could also, it's for free. You could do it for the writing. But publishing, you have to pay. It's a one time fee. I don't know what it is right now. Contact BMI and let them know what the fee is now, because usually sometimes it goes up, sometimes it stays the same. It depends. Copyright's the same thing. Copyright's the most important thing. PA form and SR form. Okay. PA form is the form that is the performance form. So if you did the music, the melody, the notes, the chords, mixing, arranging, and music, that goes onto that. So as an artist, if you did the music, then you get as a composer, right? But if you do both, you do composer and author. So as the singer, author, as a composer. If you do both, it's composer and author. So, and then you state, arrangement, music arrangement, and music. That for the performance. Then there's an SR form that covers the sound recording, the master recording of the song. If you don't understand things, explain it to the people that are in charge of these things. Contact BMI, contact ASCAP. Say, listen, I don't know the first step of what I need to do and how I need to do it. What do I need to do? Please explain these things to me because I need them explained. And that's how you go and situate yourself around these things and say to yourself, I need to do this. I have to go through this. I have to go through this channel and vice versa. Don't worry about it because you're going to make a lot of mistakes as you go through things. And that's part of life. But a lot of people didn't understand, like the producers I spoke to the other night, they didn't know about an IP number that for your songwriting or your publishing. Now, they were saying to me that, well, I'm going under the record label. Well, if you they a lot of artists do this. They don't have a publishing, they don't have a writing, so they go under a record label's um publishing and writing. But you have to have that label send you an agreement stating the percentage, and everything has to be documented. You can't just take the word of somebody saying something or get something notarized. Everything needs to be official. You can't just rely on someone else's behalf. That's not going to happen. It's not going to work. You have to look out for these things. And it's very important if you put the time and effort in a track and you want to be rewarded and get paid for it, and then wondering why you don't get paid. In the music industry, it's quarterly, every 3 months. If you accumulate sales, you get paid for those sales, whatever it may be. But if you don't register to administrator, like I'm as a distributor, I have TuneCore. They set my music out to Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal. They hook it up with Shazam, Dazer, YouTube Music, all these Google Play, all these music platforms. But that's what they do, and they don't get nothing from it. I'm paying them a subscription every 2 years that they're putting my music out and they're leaving it on those platforms. I'm using them for that purpose and that purpose only. They also have an administration set up also, but I don't need them because I'm situated with BMI. Look into TuneCore administration. I never did it because I'm already situated with BMI. But there's a lot of things out there, just like DistroKid probably has the same. I don't know about DistroKid. I don't have nothing to. I'll look into it and I'll make a video about it. But find out wherever you are putting your mind to and deciding to register to, what is their policy and terms. That's the words that you have to remember: policy and terms, because these are the policies that they are governed to, and the terms that relate to not only you, but everyone else that signs and registers into this platform. Understand that a lot of people don't understand these words. I'm trying, probably giving them stuff. I'm not looking to get people worried, but look into things. If you don't know things, contact the companies that you're trying to connect with. They're not going to turn you down. I've spoken to people from BMI, the copyright office. I had to make mistakes before I knew what I was doing, and then I document and say, "Hey, I don't need to do this anymore. I have to do this," and I put it on a. I type it in or I have it on my phone. So now I always can go back to, it's like a cheat sheet. I could always go back to, oh, what did I have to do? Oh, yeah, I remember. I have it. Let me go look. So that puts me in ease, and that gets me more calmer and less stressed out, and make me more into getting into the music instead of the business thing, because now I'm kind of relating and understanding everything about what I need to do. So understand, I was just like everyone else. It takes time. It takes a lot of mistakes. It's going to take a lot of problems before you get something. If you don't know something and you're not sure of something, don't do it, because 9 out of 10 it's going to come out wrong, because you probably, from your experience, you didn't have no experience and you didn't know what you were doing, and then that sets you back. Contact the people, contact BMI, contact ASCAP, contact the copyright office through email or phone call, and find out these things. Because listen, we all make mistakes. We're all not born geniuses. Some of us are, some of us are luckier than others. Understand, in life there always going to be someone smarter, more cunning, more advanced than us. It's just normal. It's normal nature. Don't be that person and um think because someone else is smarter, someone else is better. everyone is should be treated the same. Unfortunately, certain people, I'm not going to say who we are, we all have different mentalities, either be good or right. But we have to figure out at the end of the day, we're all here and we're all trying to do the same thing, or we have done the same thing. And that's the reason why I put this together, because I'm trying to give people information that maybe they're not aware of, or maybe they're just more consumed in the music aspect of it, but not the business aspect. But they're expecting to see
It's 11 o'clock.
revenue and they're not getting it. Sorry for that. My computer's time went off. But that's the problem most of the times. Certain things people don't relate, and they get discouraged and they get away from stuff. I was actually talking to these producers, and they were very keen that I knew what I was doing. And I said it took a long time to get. Seems to know you know what you're saying and what you're doing. Takes a lot of time. I've been doing this a long time. I didn't just get into music. Um, and I always tell people, build up your fan base. Your fan base is going to be your foundation. The more people recognize you and know you for who you are and what you do, they're going to see you as this light that they're going to always go towards, because they know that that light is always going to be there for them, and it's always going to show them the way where they need to be and where they need to go. If you look at all the videos that I do, like the graphics on this video right now, I did this myself. And then people say, how do you do that? How do you not do it? If you're gonna get into this industry, you have to figure out everything, because sometimes you have to do stuff for yourself. Yes, you're gonna hire people to do stuff, but you need to know how to associate things and put stuff together to give to those people so they can promote you and get stuff out for you. And it took time and a lot of work to me to get to the point where I could actually create this video podcast show for you and give you graphics that's going to keep you entertained and giving you an understanding of how I'm trying to emulate the video that's going on right now, through this video podcast, on getting into the business, the music business. That is, everybody said to me, how did you think about that name? Well, it is getting into a business, and it is the music business that is. But this is going to relate not just to music, but everything in life. People hit me up every single day and they seem to think I'm the smartest person in the world. And I'm not. I'm being honest with you. I'm more different than everyone else. I get involved. I put myself 200% in something that I believe in or putting out in some way. And the only problem is, not everyone is going to do what I do. Not everyone's going to give it 200%. Understand, if someone gives it a bigger piece of the pie of what they're trying to do, of course, there's going to be a lot more ground to that person is going to obtain over the other person. You have to figure out for yourself what is going to benefit you and what's going to work for you the best, more than anything on this earth. And that's going to be through trial and error. We were not born perfect. I noticed in the video that I did prior, the audio wasn't great. So I had to figure out, now there was something that I overlooked. And now hopefully the video will sound better. There won't be no noise as it is, because this is recording and it's video. And when you convert something, it loses a lot of the transfer. The frequencies and whatnot are different. So it kind of throws different hums through the line. So I had to figure out how to make the audio more clearer, because I'm trying to make this broadcast be more comforting to people's ears, not uncomfortably, when they listen to it. So a lot of people have been asking me this and saying, "Hey man, I love what you do. Tell me more. I'm trying to do this. What do I need to do? How do I need to do this?" People send me music all the time, and I'm going to be honest with them. And I will be honest with anyone that sends me music. Like I said on this channel, what I'm going to do, I won't be able to play anyone's music, but send me your music, send me your artwork. Just to a word of advice, and I'm telling you this just not to worry, but if you send something to someone, always make sure it's copywritten, PA formed, or SR formed. So that's covering you. If you have a lawyer, send it to the lawyer also, um, because we're living in a world that is totally different and things change. Everything evolves differently. There's different mindsets. I'm not saying everybody's the same, but things happen. Just to protect you, always make sure that you're covered. Don't put nothing out there until it's released. That's what I do. I don't put anything out until it's released on Apple Music or Spotify and it's out there and people know that I put it out there. Um, there's a lot of ways you have to get involved in. There's a lot of platforms nowadays. There's TikTok, putting out content that's going to be interesting. I met people on TikTok that are blowing up. I met people on YouTube that are blown up. So try to connect with those people and try to like go back and forth with recipes and say, "Hey, I'm doing this. What did you do?" And maybe sometimes they'll ask you for opinions because they're more set on doing video but not music, and you're more equipped on the music aspect of it as them as the video, so you can contribute and collaborate mind setting on how guys could work together or work with each other on situating problems that you might not relate to you either one of you. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people say to me, "How long have you been doing music?" I've been doing music since I was 10 years old. Started as a rapper, and I think I'm gonna just throw you a rap because everybody knows me as a rapper. Every day we struggle hard, as we know. Life is not easy as we go. Crazy struggling every single day. The life flows that maintain every single way. We run like a running man running on a track. Crazy force, crazy impact. We take things on different levels, it's true. I put this podcast for people just like you because certain things might not relate to me, but of course, they might relate to you. Thinking how hard the struggles of life may be, understanding the situation as we see. Everything in life is true as we main. It's like the lion and tiger fighting in a cage. Understanding what the truth as we see under the water, under it should be. Life is a struggle, as I know. I understand this because that's how it goes. The struggles in life that we do every single day, everything that we're dealing now in this situation of this country, of the US of A. We try to live life to the fullest, it's true. Happiness. We try to unite with each other, people like me and you. We try to see people for what they can say and what they can do. But understand, at the end of the day, it's happiness for every one of us, just like me and you. Taking things in a different way, trying to say things in a different understanding in any situation of the day. I put this thing together as I know, and people been telling me, "Hey man, you got some crazy flow." Take a lot of time and effort, it's true. And I hope everything that I do in this podcast, some way or another, it will relate to you. All right, everyone. Everyone knew me as a rapper back in the days. I just put verses together and I started to amaze. Understand what I do every single day. I try to give people situations and different kind of plays. Life is true as we know, but the struggle of life, the definition is something that we have to know, and unfortunately, we grow. The struggles every single day that everybody got to know me by a name, and they say it every single day. Why is it true to be what you do, understanding life and everything that relates to you? So let me go back to what everybody's been asking me to rap. So I figured I'll do a rap on this podcast. Um, I might be doing it every time, some way, and I'll try to put something together in some situation of the day. So I started as a rapper, so I had to find out the people in that platform. So I started going into studios, and going into those studios, I started connecting with many other well-known rappers, and they saw in me what I see in them. The definition of what they brought out to the world, I got to see. And I said to them, someday I want to be just like you. And they're like, no, you want to be something beyond me. And I said, that is so true. So in life, even though you admire somebody, you know, I always tell people, don't be a follower, be a leader. I get so many people saying to me, hey man, I want to be a producer like you. I want to do things like you. How do I go about doing things like me? I can give you ideas and suggestions, but at the end of the day, you need to come up with your own recipe because my recipe is already, I created a book and that book is already out there. So start putting out your own flavors, start putting out your own ideas. People will respect you more. They'll know and look into you more because they're going to want to see something new because they know that you're a person of putting things out new every single minute of whatever you try to do. So it doesn't have to relate to me or you, it has to relate to you. Um, but understand what I'm trying to say. We have to do things. You have to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. A lot of people are afraid. And I got a lot of people, especially a lot of people got disgusted. I spoke to the singer and said, hey, man, what's the difference what I'm doing and what you're doing? And I kind of said to them, there's no difference. You know, um, I might just do something different and, know a little bit more than you, but in time you will learn. And we were talking about this, and, and I brought this up in my first episode. There's a lot of people that are discouraged. There's a lot of people that are sad. There's a lot of people that are angry. Um, because years ago it was different. I started music a long time ago. Everybody says I look young, but I'm up in age. um Hopefully I keep myself healthy and continue to do so. Health is very important. Health and family is the most important thing in life, and happiness, of course. Money comes and goes, so understand that money's just paper. We use paper to spend money. We also use paper to wipe our ass. You know what I'm saying? So these are things that you have to understand. In the end of the day, the pursuit of happiness and our happiness is the most important thing in life. We live on this earth for whatever time it may be. It doesn't know if it could happen to you, it could happen to anyone, like people like me. But understand, we all have a number, and that number is not related in us in any way. The only person that knows that number is God, and God situates that number to us each and every day. So we don't know when that number is called out. Is fact, is it true? But we don't want to be known about that number because it would scare the shit out of me and you. But that number will come out, and that month of that day, the year that we are taken away from this earth and our life on this earth is gone away. So take it as I know and understand what I say. Things happen in any mysterical situation of the day. We go through things in life every single minute of the day, triumphs, fantasies, and dreams each and every day. They might relate to us or they might relate to someone else in some mystical way. But understand what you do and relate it to you and put heart and soul. And someday or some night or whatever it may be, everything that you relate, that dream, that fantasy will come true to you. But I understand, as I do every single day, I try to give people some information, some suggestions that might help them throughout the day. We go through life every single minute of the day. We try to make things happen to us in a happy way. Through this COVID that we see every single day, everyone masked up like we're in Halloween costumes every single day. Now everyone plays the part of a surgeon, a doctor, because we're masked up every single minute of the day. Understand what I say to you and understand I'm true, but understand things might not relate or happen to you. So don't see things in any different way. Just relate the situation to you and how that situation relates to you in that minute of the day. So, what we can do and what we can say, like I said, I started as a rapper before I was a producer. Actually, now I'm telling you this day. So, things might not be true, but understand some way or another, they might happen to relate to you. So, what I'm trying to say is people say to me, how did you get to know all these big people? Well, like I said, I constantly put myself out there. I grew up with a family, my dad loved music, always into music, always singing, but never, a musician or whatever. And, I'm going to be truthful. My dad is from the other side, he's old school. He didn't know anything about producing. All he knew about is, getting up in the morning and cracking a hole up in the ground and going to work on the Gowanus and then eventually going up as a shop steward and then the supervisor and, going up in ranks. And a lot of us grew up that way. We had family members that didn't know anything about making money with music or being a actor, sorry, being an actor in that situation. No one knows that. Everybody thought, either you owned a bakery, you do construction, you painted, you did manual labor, stuff like that. You did demolition. You're a garbage man. You're a cop. You're a fireman. Nobody puts into the equation producer, composer. I'm doing stuff, on radio. I'm actually doing movie scores. I'm this Italian Sicilian kid from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, now in Staten Island, and I grew up in a neighborhood. You're a product of your environment, right? So in Brooklyn, where do you grow up is where you and the people you see you start admiring. And like I said, I started hanging out with older guys. I never hung out more with more older guys. I did hang out with guys my age, but more I was more towards the older guys because they were more knowledgeable, more respected, and I seen and they took me on as one of their own. They didn't see me as a little kid. Crazy as it sounds, even people that I know or knew my grandfather from back in the day that on social media, either be Facebook or mostly Facebook, say, man, I remember you when you were a little kid and you were a little, gutsy little kid and you're still. And I seen how you grew up to be. And I had a feeling because I told, people that I knew your grandfather, he's going to grow up to be something. But I started to see, different things in my life and what people went through. And I said to myself, in life, I'm not going to go through these things. These things are not for me. So I chose a different path. And that's where I've been leading my path to. So now I'm going to touch in some other things. So, growing up in Brooklyn, a lot of people do crazy things. A lot of people do some stupid things, but you have to understand how things work. And unfortunately, I have to bring these things up. If things are going so great for you and you have the world in your hand, right? And you're doing so many great things and things are happening for you and you're getting situated to do stuff for movies and commercials and through the music you've been doing, being an influencer, a creator on social media, and everybody's relate to you, you're becoming viral and things are happening for you. You have to understand now you're saying to yourself, wow, things are so good for me. I have to do and stay up there. I can't do anything stupid because that can get taken away from me in a heartbeat. How many people that you meet that things are going so great for them and then all of a sudden, for some reason, some situation, they lose everything? So at the end of the day, all I can give you is use proper judgment. Remember what your mom said, like I did. My mom's in heaven right now. I know she's my guardian angel. And if you have a mom is in heaven or a dad's in heaven, those are your guardian angels. And those are the people that are going to be with you through thick and thin. So remember that follow those rules, remember what they said to you, and you'll be okay. This is Vinny Venom getting into the business, the music business. That is episode 2. Thank you for tuning in. Definitely share, definitely like, and subscribe. Share this. Also, start sending me your music to vinnyvenom at gmail. I will listen to it. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to pick anything that I don't think it's great. I will contact you. And if you want my feedback, I will give it to you. But the recommendations, the Vinny Venom recommendations, the 5 tracks that I pick, it doesn't have to be dance music. It should just be music in general. I will decide and I will put your artwork and tell people to follow your page, look into you more further, and somebody that I see going up there. All right? Take care.
BeatCutterz music.
I'm breaking down cause my jealousy gets the best of me. If this keeps